Let me go over to my YouTube so I can share this shit. And shared. All right. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is episode 14 of the Jimnasium. I am your host, XFL Jim. This is my co-host, Chase Lupine Fiasco Sesums, right here, the fucking horse whisperer himself. How you doing, bud?
I got big sad feelings, Jim. Razorbacks just got knocked out in the Super Regional, and I thought we were gonna win it all this year. And so,
watching them play, I also thought they were going to win it all because they looked incredible. I guess this more of a letdown, or is NC State actually good? Because from listening to a couple things, this feels like a huge letdown.
it feels like a huge letdown. I'm sure NC State is good, but I don't know if an NC State team that doesn't have like Jim Valvano coaching it just doesn't feel as valid. I don't care what sport it is. If it's not Jimmy V coaching, then how good can they really be?
What I always think of NC State, and I get most of my opinion of them through college football, is they're always a team that's like they're a 9-4 or like a 9-3, 8-4 college football team. I just translate that to other sports. It's like they're good, like they're fine, but they're not like they're never going to be world beaters for the most part. Well, they're always a little disappointing. It always sucks to lose to them.
I just feel that they don't deserve nice things or happiness in life now after that game that I just watched. That hurt my heart just a little bit.
It was a good game.
Yeah, as I was just telling Jim, my wife follows an Instagram for dealing with our children and their emotions called Big Little Feelings, and I could just tell that she was pulling out the Big Little Feelings like playbook on me. She was like, I understand that we're unhappy because that game didn't go our way, but we shouldn't use that language in the house. It's like, I've got big little feelings.
Big Little Feelings. I feel like that could be something for children and sports fans.
Just petty sports fans. We have big little feelings.
I feel like sports fans should be petty. If you're going to be a fan of a sports team, be petty against your rivals. Don't be, or like any loss. Like any loss, just be like, fuck that team. I hate them forever. I hope nothing good happens to them.
Yeah, that's fair. I've done that often. I've stopped short of wishing injury. And I say I've stopped short of wishing injury because I want to sound classy.
Yeah, we will say that we never wish for injury on this podcast because we are gentlemen and scholars. But when someone gets Jägermeister in them, you can never really control what happens. Like,
yeah, when that sweet Bavarian rage liqueur gets into you, you can't control your actions. You
gotta be mad at something.
You got to be angry. You have to be angry and slightly German. You have to be.
I start throwing on an accent.
Just be the deer. Just get it. Just be the buck. And
I feel like
buck shit up.
If the Bucks don't have like a huge sponsorship with Jaeger, they're fucking up.
Where's the cross promotion? What are you thinking, Bucks / Jägermeister? Both of you.
Well, both deers, and then fucking like they got to be like a huge area outside the stadium of just like beer gardens and bars and shit. They got to be doing specials on Jaeger for real.
Right. And then probably need to have like a increased police presence in said area to deal with the ramifications. It's
Wisconsin. Everyone can handle their booze just fine. It's all right.
There we go.
Before we get into any actual like NBA or NHL or whatever news, I feel like we got to talk about this college football situation going on. It's looking like with the name, image, and likeness stuff coming to Congress and being pushed ahead, they're like the powers that be in the college football universe are looking at other ways to get revenue. And the way that seems to be the most intriguing to me and the most likely and what seems to be coming up sooner rather than later is a push for a 12-team playoff.
Please, I'll take it. I know it's I hate the NCAA and how it exploits people and basically makes billions off of the backs of people who might not see a dime for anything that they ever do to bring in revenue for their schools in the NCAA. But when it comes to a 12-team football playoff, hell yes. Yes, please.
Fuck the hell yes is what I say. So the way it'll play out is they take the top 4 conference champion teams. So fuck you, Notre Dame, get in a conference if you want to actually compete for for a bye week.
Right.
Those teams get a bye. Then the rest of the teams, all 8, are going to be at-larges after that. So I feel like this could be extremely beneficial to the group of 5 teams if they can get what was it? Was last year 2020 there were 2 G5 teams in the top 12? I think Coastal Carolina and Cincinnati were both in the top 12.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Cincinnati would have gotten a home game because
that's awesome.
They were 8th, so they would have played Georgia at home. That matchup would have been the same because I think Georgia was 9. So that exact matchup would have gone under, and they would have played Georgia at home, and neither team would probably have players sitting out.
Yeah. You absolutely erase the chance for opt-outs for people who have a pro career ahead of them if they're not playing, and want to skip out if they're not playing for a national championship. Now everybody's live. Everybody's got a chance. I mean, literally it's playoff football.
It blows my mind when people say that this will make the regular season meaningless because it makes it more meaningful when you get a team that gets the system as the system is now. You get a team that loses, say, week 2. Like if a Wisconsin loses week 2, I guess our season's over with 2 weeks in.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got to be jockeying for position all the time, every single week. It's like every week becomes a must win whenever you're a top, especially if you're like a group of 5 team, they absolutely have to go pretty much undefeated to crack the top 12. So
they have to go undefeated. And I feel like this also will improve scheduling because you're going to be looking at schedules being like, well, this team is undefeated, but this team's undefeated. But this team played like a fucking cupcake-ass schedule or didn't play anybody. What's up with that? So you won't get a situation like you did last year with Cincinnati and Tulsa not playing the game before the AAC championship game like they were supposed to because of certain restrictions or whatever. I think they had some COVID issues, but also Cincinnati at that point, they wanted the G5 spot because there was a 3-way tie possibly with Cincinnati. Boise State was still in the running and Coastal Carolina for the New Year's Six Bowl. And they just ducked Tulsa, which would have been an awesome game.
Right. Yeah. It's going to make scheduling super important. I mean, I don't think that scheduling is going to impact your Alabamas, your super big teams that
those teams are going to make it in regardless.
Right. And I think some of that has to do with one, they're pretty fucking good. And the other that, if it's selected by people, people love teams like Alabama and Oklahoma and, someone's always going to have those teams back. It feels,
I never understood if fans of these teams would be worried because all this does to me is if I'm an Ohio State and Alabama, Clemson and Oklahoma fan, it's just I'm getting into the playoffs every year. That's just happening now.
That's kind of the way. That's how I could see it going down. Is no matter. I mean, even if you don't win your conference, you're going to be in the playoffs every single season.
In the last 5 years, the only time Alabama wouldn't have made it was 2019 because they were ranked 13th.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And if they're not going to be in the top 4, obviously they're going to be one of the at-larges. If Alabama doesn't win the SEC, odds are they're going to be ranked somewhere in the top 12. They'll probably be 10 or 11 at worst.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like once you get a Nick Saban football team into a playoff mode,
something changes.
Yeah. They just know how to handle business. That program knows how to handle business in those sort of games. And so Alabama is always going to be absolutely dangerous, no matter if they get a bye or not. Clemson's the same way. Ohio State seems to choke recently, which I enjoy.
I also very much enjoy that. I feel like this also gives more meaningful games to like, not meaningful. I think this gives like more potential fun, meaningful matchups in the postseason because you could get like a Florida versus a Wisconsin at Wisconsin some years, which would be Wisconsin playing at Wisconsin in December or January would be hilarious.
Oh man. Whew.
Yeah.
Man. Oof.
Snow games. Yeah, you get the snow games.
This winter we got like almost 2 feet of snow here. Like, and that just doesn't happen. And it got like down to like below zero. You couldn't get me out of the locker room to play that game. Like I would just be like, no, I'm cool. This is it.
I'll play in snow every day. I love playing in snow. I hate playing in like 33-degree rain.
Ugh.
That's the worst weather I've ever like been a part of. Where it's just like it's pouring, you're just soaking wet. You can't get warm no matter what. At least when it's snowing out, once you're kind of in it and it's just snow, you're kind of like your hands are at least still warm because you'll have gloves on for the most part. When it's raining and you're wet, you're just miserable.
Yeah, but still, I was not engineered for 0 degrees and snowy. Like my wife, I've mentioned this, is Notre Dame alum, and she's like, well, listen, we got to go see a game at South Bend. I was like, listen, only before October because I won't survive. They'll be like, why is he wearing duck hunting waders? And I'll be like, motherfuckers, this is the warmest thing that I own.
Yeah, 100%. I think this could help. Like Notre Dame's probably a lock-in for the playoffs every year too, at least at the 5 to 12 position.
They can't lose more than 2 games. If they lose more than 2 games, then they'll be out of it. But yeah, I think as long as they only lose 1 or 2 games, they're good. They'll probably be in it every year.
They're going to keep Notre Dame in the top 12 regardless. And they don't even have to even if Notre Dame's like the number 1 team ranked in the country, then they get bumped down to 5 for the playoffs in this scenario.
Hard to be independent these days.
I wonder what that would do. Say if like Notre Dame's like number 3 in the country one year, and then you get like 2 SEC teams as 1 and 2 going into conference championship week, and you have like Ohio State ranked 4. What would a year like that be?
Pandemonium.
That'd be fucking wild. And then you'd get the Pac-12 teams somewhere in there. You get like a rank like say 9 USC winning the Pac-12, and then somewhere you get like a rank 8 Cincinnati again winning the AAC.
I feel like the Pac-12 is like the Delaware of college football, meaning that I always forget that it exists. Like Delaware, I always forget that Delaware is a place in a state and actually exists. That's kind of how I feel about Pac-12.
I think this could actually make the Pac-12 more relevant because it gives them more of a chance at competing in the national championship year in and year out, instead of being like, they play like a neutral site game in Atlanta week 1, like their premier teams do. They lose to a SEC team, and It's like, the Pac-12's gone 1 or 2 weeks in, so no one pays attention to them.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll always take the excuse to watch football until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So,
I love it. Okay. I've watched so much Pac. The thing I love is this could also get more teams maybe in the postseason going out west, bringing more football to the West Coast, getting it more popular there again. And then you might not get players leaving like Arizona, California, Washington to go down south, to go out east, and staying home if they have a shot at national championships. And maybe this kind of like builds up recruiting, and then those schools can start pumping out more NFL talent. And it kind of just like feeds into a whole cycle, and college football once again becomes a fully national sport. I don't know how likely that is, because it's going to be like the South is the region for football. Like that's just where the best high school players come from.
Yeah. I got to say that what you're proposing about, people football staying, getting better on the West Coast and being decentralized from the South. I got to say, friggin' hate what you're telling me right now.
Well, I mean, so like the best high school players are in the South, like Florida, Georgia, and then like Texas on its own is crazy. Yeah.
Louisiana, Alabama.
People always sleep on Louisiana, but it's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Alabama produces
Mississippi too. Mississippi's fucking crazy too. but like California it's a huge fucking state, got great talent. The issue we have now is a bunch of that talent is going to like Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia. Like it's not staying in its region.
And nor will it, God willing. I know. All right, I'm an Arkansas fan. I know I'm just a stormtrooper, a bumbling stormtrooper on this Death Star, but still love the Death Star.
I mean, it's fun. Like if I was a fan of an SEC team, if I was like a Vanderbilt fan, I'd be jumping on this bandwagon hard.
In between your studies.
Exactly.
That's when you.
But I always liked the idea of like certain, like if the players could stay there, I mean, it's going to be in the South regardless, because those like the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Floridas have already proved that they're very capable of sending players to the NFL. And I think that is the number one recruiting tool that you can have regardless of anything. You're going to get kids everywhere. Just be like, hey, you want to go play in the league? You have a like 25% better chance if you're on our team, which is bananas.
We are a football factory that masquerades as a higher learning institution.
Exactly.
Come on in. It's like John Calipari at Kentucky. We are a NBA basketball factory who masquerades as a institution.
1,000%. The other thing I think that gives advantage to some of these schools, I can go on a tangent about this. I feel like LSU is at an incredible advantage being the only Power 5 team in their whole state in a super talent-rich state.
Yeah. No, I agree. But they have the same problem of they have to keep all of their Louisiana talent home. You see Alabama reach into Louisiana quite a bit to pull out top-notch talent. The Slim Reaper himself, Smitty, Devontae Smith was a I want to say he was I say Amity, Louisiana kid. But there's absolutely so much talent in Louisiana. Mississippi,
like Georgia. Like Georgia Tech is going to take who they can, but it's hard to get into Georgia Tech.
Right.
Georgia's like the premier school in the most talent-rich state.
And see, like where I am, we've started producing more and more D1 talent, but when we do, especially when Gus Malzahn was at Auburn, we lost a lot of it to Auburn. The kid that actually lived around the corner from here was a big time, 4 or 5 star recruit that went to play running back at Alabama. We lose a lot of top kids to these states. So not only are they producing a lot of talent inside their own state, they have just like the national reach to pull anybody from the region. And then some of the schools can pull anybody they want from anywhere in the country.
It's like Ohio State. It's Ohio State is like everyone. I always forget how big of a state Ohio is population wise and how talent rich that makes it. Not to mention it's right next to Kentucky. Ohio State's the only Power 5 school in the entire state.
That's insane. It is absolutely insane that it's that way. But I mean, we're the same way, but we're not anywhere near that big. So.
I mean, the only other one that I could think of that like gets talent taken like crazy from a talent-rich state is like Rutgers. They're the only Power 5 school in New Jersey, but everyone takes from New Jersey.
Yeah. Which is funny because after watching The Sopranos, I've found that people from New Jersey are keen on stealing things. So, I mean, it's the opposite of what I've learned.
I think with Shiano back, and they're going to get some of that like mafioso mentality back in the program. I think Rutgers could be dangerous.
There you go. We'll just start calling the stadium the Bada Bing.
I'm just so excited for this. Like we already know who's going to be 1 through 4 almost every year. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see like 8 through 12. Like I feel like that's going to be on a quick rotation all the time.
Yeah, it's going to be 1 through 4 is always hotly debated every single week on every single sporting outlet. 8 through 12 is going to start being like the most hot conversation that you're going to have, and I absolutely so. They're going to be not hundreds, of course, but tens of teams that have they're going to feel like they have claim to those spots, and it's going to be from every conference that you can possibly think of. I mean, I don't envy a person that's on a selection committee, because those are going to be some legit tough decisions that you're going to have to make. And there's going to be, no matter what decision you make, there's going to be about 50 to 100,000 people on Twitter who are going to fucking hate your guts.
And not to mention like the ADs and school presidents and whatever, because this is going to be a money fucking factory.
Right. Yeah. Shut up and take my money. Hell, make it 16 teams. Take more of my money.
I wonder, going into that, I wonder how long it's going to take them. I heard some rumblings that this was kind of like a ploy to potentially in the future expand to 24, like skip over 16 like they skipped over 8. Just go directly into 24. How soon in the future would you see that happening?
I'll say 10 years.
That's what I said 2030 when I first heard someone mention that. I was like, 2030 seems like, because this is going to take however many years to implement. I think 2023 would be the earliest possible that they could do it.
Right.
And that would even involve breaking a contract with ESPN.
The reason I say 10, which feels like a shorter period of time, is I think as you start to get more sort of legal challenges to the NCAA and their stance on amateurism, and the more revenue that they see going out the door, the more they're going to want to just like give football the March Madness feel of like, you have to watch every single week and, keep that money pumping in.
Yeah, I think it would just like, they need something to pump back into these wallets right here. I don't have much more on this until we hear more from the powers that be themselves. I feel like the next thing we'll get is some name, image, and likeness news, potentially like a national mandate on it, or some of these states are going to, whatever these states are passing is going to go through sometime this year, I imagine.
Yeah, and good for it. Good for those kids. Make your money while you can. Absolutely. There's no reason that a person who's a legal adult of age who could fight in a war shouldn't be able to make money pursuing their craft and their trade. So good for them. Get these kids their money.
Especially with these kids making shitloads of money for the university.
Absolutely. Let's get rid of the plantation mentality in the NCAA, and let's let these kids run themselves like businesses. Maybe we won't have so many professional athletes go broke when they learn how to manage themselves in college.
You're fucking real. Let's transition from college football to one of the most exciting playoffs going right now, the fucking Stanley Cup playoffs. Holy shit, that Vegas Colorado series was nuts down to the fucking wire. Vegas pulled it out. I made my mistake of betting on Colorado every single game. It just didn't work out. I believe in the Avalanche so hard.
I did it once, and I got boned so hard 50 seconds into overtime for the biggest just like oof killer, oof parlay killer ever. But yeah, that was a great series. It's this playoffs have been awesome, and I claim to be a New York Rangers fan, but I might want to say go Islanders, go Strong Island.
I wonder if these Islanders are like the team of destiny, because I know the Bruins had a couple injuries like going against them and whatnot. I had no idea the Islanders were going to be this fun to watch.
They hit people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the one thing that I've picked up, from going from not really watching any NHL regular season to watching whatever game NBC Sports will give me. And so watching a couple of these Islanders games now, yeah, they will hit people, and it is awesome. Like, because they are not only hitting people hard, but they're hitting people dirty, and that's always fun to watch.
I love it. That's my favorite thing about hockey. I will say that loud and proud. The hits and the fights are what I love about hockey. It's amazing.
Yeah, and just the way they were just dumping the Bruins on their duffs that entire last game. I was
Bruins going outside is always a fun thing. I
Go
always
back
appreciate
to Starbucks.
Go back to your Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, it was good, and I kind of like seeing the Islanders jump up 1-0 on Tampa Bay, because I didn't know if Tampa Bay was beatable in this postseason.
Yeah, I'm on the same way. I thought both this Tampa Bay series and the Vegas Canadian series was just going to be stomps for Tampa and Vegas. I'm still feeling that way about the Vegas Canadian series, but I'm very excited for where this Tampa Bay Lightning New York Islanders series can go, because if this game's any indication, this could be another 7-game series, which would be a fucking blast.
And we know the garage stance on NHL Game 7s.
Yes.
Pro.
Very pro games. I think in almost every sport that you can have a Game 7 in, I would be like pro Game 7. Like if football could somehow have a Game 7. Can you imagine a fucking football team like it's Saturday. They've played every other day this whole week. And they're just like trotting like the practice squad guys out there that are fresh, that are just
anybody anyone who's not dead yet, please raise your hands. Yeah, that would be I'd watch it, and I would still watch it. That's how heroes are born, right there.
This is where fucking men become boys, and vice versa.
Oh my lord! Oh man,
I like watching the Lightning. Super fun too, and the physicality of this Islanders team, the speed of this Lightning team. This playoffs, both the NBA and the NHL right now, they've been fucking awesome.
It's just.
NHL more so to me, because the NBA, at least the NBA has had more stompy series, if you know what I'm saying.
I've been just, I'd say 10 times more invested in the NHL playoffs than I have in the NBA playoffs. I've had to make the conscious decision of what game do I watch right now. Do I watch Utah play, or do I watch the NHL game? And it seems like every time I've made the decision, I'm going to watch the NHL game. I'll check in and on the score later on the NBA playoffs.
That's what I've been doing too. I might be doing that till the finals if it keeps up like this. But
yeah,
it's hockey. Playoff hockey is just so fucking fun to watch.
I'm for it. Can we just have the whole season be playoff hockey somehow? Just a gauntlet of 7-game series all the way.
Are we getting behind a team right now? Out of the 4 teams left, who is the Jimnasium backing? Because who do you root for personally when it comes to NHL? I'm a Predators guy.
My buddy Clamps, Gary Queenie, Clampsy. He introduced me to Letterkenny, which got me into hockey. Yeah, which brought me to pledge allegiance to his New York Rangers. So
that's fair. I respect that.
So I can't get behind the Islanders. I like watching the Islanders play, but I can't.
They're fun to watch. We're not gonna be an Islanders podcast. Are we gonna be? I feel like the two that we got to go through are either Vegas or Tampa.
I'm gonna throw a curveball and say Montreal Canadiens.
You're gonna say them.
How are you now? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Canadiens. I always approve of Studley goalkeeper play, so let's ride this Carey Price train straight to the cup.
Okay, we're not going to be a Canadiens podcast because I cannot respect the Montreal Canadiens, but we will be a Carey Price podcast.
Yeah,
there we go. We're rooting through Carey Price through the proxy of the Canadiens.
Yeah, great fishing in Quebec.
Oh yeah.
Let's go Carey Price all the way to the cup.
Let's
fight in Montreal Carey Prices.
The fighting Carey Prices. That's what we're fucking going for here. Leading into the NBA playoffs, the other playoffs that are going on right now that aren't quite as exciting, but are still pretty fucking fun. I've watched a couple of the games. What's going on with the Nets and these injuries? What the fuck is happening? What is up with Kyrie right now?
Kyrie, quite honestly, is probably is my least favorite NBA player. Currently playing in the league, and it has nothing to do with his skills. Like, I don't like his like just disappear for a week kind of demeanor. Like, that feels really kind of shady to just kind of bone out on your team. I don't know what sort of problems he has. If I had understood what kind of problems he has going on that's making him miss this time, I might not be as dickish about it. But it drives me crazy. And like, okay, you sign, if you're the Nets, you sign all these players. You get Kevin Durant, you get, James Harden, you get Kyrie Irving. How pissed are you that you can't get all 3 of them on the court at the same time ever?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. Like you have this super team, and it seemed like even without Harden in there, they were gonna look to just roll. Apparently Milwaukee had some things to say about that in the worst game I've ever fucking seen. That they were still able to pull out.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that Milwaukee's starting to like assert itself because they're not that bad of a team. Like
They're not.
they should be in the hunt. They should absolutely be in the hunt. Like, and people were definitely completely writing off the Bucks.
Like coming into these playoffs, I've been saying it's a 3-team race in the East between the Nets, the Sixers, and the Bucks. And I'll admit, I got swept up into the fucking hype when the Nets just come out and steamroll these teams and make it look so easy. And even without Harden, fucking roll over Milwaukee in game 1. I was like, who the fuck's beating this team? But you got to remember, these are like the Sixers and the Bucks are like they're good fucking teams.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a super team with the Nets, but who was the last? Let's think of the last super team that we had, and that was the Golden State Warriors. What happened to them when they had to play against Toronto when they were down 2 superstars, when they could only put 1 superstar on the court at the time? It was you couldn't win. There wasn't, and so if they don't get back to a 3-headed monster by this series, then I'm not sure if they win this series.
Yeah, I'm not. I think if KD is still, as long as Kevin Durant's still in, I think this series can go to 7. I'm not sure if they win in 7 at that point.
Right.
I think the Nets bench is pretty good too. But if Harden doesn't come back and if Kyrie doesn't come back, I'm reading right now, it looks like his X-rays have come back negative, but they don't know how long he's going to be off. It seems to be an ankle sprain. It's hard to tell, especially with basketball, especially with someone that plays like Kyrie does.
Right. It's almost for the debate you want them to lose so that you can debate for the entire offseason. Would they have won if they were all healthy? Like, I could listen to Stephen A. Smith scream about that for 2 hours every morning.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it'd be good for takes.
James Harden with his ball handling is so truculent. He loves the word truculent for some reason.
I feel like he has a word of the day calendar, and just sometimes he just decides to be like, "That's the one today.
That's the one. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna use this word." And then I'm going to casually parlay that into a race card later. And then we are going to have just an excellent show. It's like, all right, Stephen A.
It's like he has like a note that's just like it's this big. It's a sticky note. It's like, this is what I'm going to do. Here's the word I'm going to use, race play. And then everything else is just in here off the cuff.
And then just the constant reminder to use his eyebrows when he's emoting. I'm going to do my best. Quite frankly, you gotta strike him down, and then
that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
They explode towards your hairline as the words explode out of your mouth. Just that's it. That's the move.
That's why he gets paid what he gets paid, my man.
I fucking love Stephen A. Smith. I'm not even gonna lie. I love him. All of his ridiculousness.
You need to have these take machines out there, like the Stephen A. Smiths, the Skip Baylesses, the Colin Cowards. I hate them and love them simultaneously.
Fair.
They need to exist in a sports ecosystem. Just like you need these hot take machines and you need these old fucking stupid people that post about like the unwritten rules in baseball or like fucking how much better things used to be in the 80s and 90s. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I
sportsmanship. Agree. They post about sportsmanship, which just means players shouldn't celebrate.
Yeah, dude. You're going to tell me sports are better without air humping? Come on. If someone just to celebrate,
are you going to sit there and tell me that Chad Ochocinco wasn't fun as fuck?
Dude, hell yes. He was, he would thrive in today's NFL with the celebrations. Thrive. Props, bring it in. Pyrotechnics, let's do it.
Dude, he'd be all about it.
Isn't he boxing now, or is he fighting?
He boxed in the Logan Paul Mayweather fight. He was one of the undercards.
How do you do? I would figure he would do pretty good.
He did all right. He didn't get knocked out, but he lost the fight. But it was close. and he looked impressive. He looked way more impressive than fucking his fight. I'll say this: his fight was way more entertaining than the main card of Mayweather Paul.
Yeah, but more entertaining than
yeah.
any Floyd Mayweather fight that's happened in the last decade.
Yeah, exactly. I've said this a bajillion times. I feel like we've said this before. I feel like since the Pacquiao fight, including that fight, it's just Mayweather's fights have just been the most boring thing on the planet.
Yeah, you can't help but feel screwed if you pay for those pay-per-views.
Oh, I refuse to pay. I have a wonderful streaming service that I partake in that helps me out with that.
I like it. That feels clandestine, and I enjoy that.
Oh, love that. I feel like we should get behind an NBA team as well, and I feel like the Suns are the team I want to get behind. If longtime watchers of the Jimnasium of a show of 15 episodes, and by 15 I mean 14. I had an NBA episode where I had my lawyer come on, and his favorite team are the Nuggets, and I like the Nuggets, but the Suns are super fun to watch. Chris Paul has been fucking electric, dude.
Don't you feel like the Nuggets with like the whole marijuana boom in Colorado could totally 100% change their logo a little bit and it still be relevant?
Oh, just 100. They should do that if they play on 420.
Yeah, just some sticky, stinky, dank nugs on their jerseys.
I love it.
Yeah, the Suns. Okay, the Suns are fun. I was a big fan of Chris Paul back when he was a New Orleans Hornet. Trying to make a playoff run there. I generally have warm feelings for Chris Paul, and I'd like to see him win a championship. So I don't mind getting behind the Suns.
My thing is I can't think of another NBA team that I'm like super into. Maybe the Charlotte Hornets, maybe like the Hornets still, just because like Trae Young has been like taking over and is super fun to watch, and I love his attitude of like fucking bring on the hate.
Right.
But I also like the Sixers and their two big guys and Joel Embiid just putting his nuts in people's face.
And Joel Embiid has a penchant for air humping. Also, he is a noted air humper. He is making love to the sky to celebrate. That is for sure.
It's true. He also, you know what? It's a toss-up between the Suns and the Sixers for me. Because when Joel came out and did the suck it game one, I have to respect that. I love it.
I don't know if I can cheer for Ben Simmons. Like,
here's my Ben Simmons
to cheer for Ben Simmons.
Here's my Ben Simmons pitch. I can cheer for anyone who looks like they can't play basketball and is in the NBA. It gives me hope. That's why I love Jokic as MVP. Because he looks like he shouldn't be a basketball player. Ben Simmons can't play basketball, but he's the best person alive at basketball who can't play basketball.
Right. I feel like when Ben Simmons makes like a jump shot that you should cheer for him like you're cheering for a kid who's like potty training, who just like takes a leak of let's
go.
Yay! Look,
got one.
Every time, bud.
Either that or when he takes a jump shot, it's like a dog who does something bad. He's like, no, don't do that. No.
Yeah, there's people who discipline their dogs by shame. You should have like Doc Rivers should have a sign that like when he yanks him out, he just hangs the sign around his. And it's like, I tried too many jump shots, like, and I'm bad at shooting, and just picture sad Ben Simmons being shamed by
Doc. When they go to the locker room, it's like Bart Simpson from the Simpsons, where he's just writing like, I will not take a 3-pointer. I will not shoot a jump shot. I will not.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'll get behind. I'll get behind the Suns. I also have to get behind former teammate, even though it was 3-on-3 at a basketball camp, Mike Conley, with Utah. Like to see him win that and continue my greatness adjacent.
Okay. I will allow it because it's the NBA and basketball does not matter. We can have two teams. We will be a Jazz Suns podcast. So if one of those two comes out of the West, basically fuck the Clippers is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fuck the Clippers. What are you thinking, Clippers? Get out of here with your Clipperness.
But on the Clippers, I feel like I don't know. I feel like no one else has been doing this because people are actually watching these games more than I am. I've forgotten that Kawhi Leonard's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he's amazing, not just offensively. He's killing it defensively, too. Like, he's swatting balls. He's fucking getting after it.
He's got hands the size of fucking catcher's mitts. Like you expect him to be able to just interrupt any pass ever just by virtue of finger length. Like his hands are so big. It's crazy. It's I sit at home and watch sports punditry pretty much every day, and so it's so like it's crazy how quickly everyone just forgets about people and forgets how absolutely good people are. Sorry, I'm sure you can hear my kids rejecting bedtime.
They're just very passionate about Kawhi.
Those tears are cried for Kawhi Leonard and his lack of attention this
They're just like, why won't Kawhi get the respect he deserves?
Yeah, why does he have to deal with Paul George as a teammate?
Yeah, when your number 2 superstar is supposed to be Paul George, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
That's It's funny. It's funny that his nickname is PG-13 because you're pretty well fucked if he's your number 2. Hey-o!
I like that.
I don't know why I'm snapping. Why am I snapping, Jim?
We're in an open mic right now. Man, I don't really have any more takes on the NBA other than so when I talked about the playoffs originally, we predicted Clippers. No, we predicted fucking the guy I was on. We predicted Lakers Nets is what the prediction was. Okay. And I still think you could. I mean, it's a similar thing with if the Nets lose now, you can now say if AD wouldn't have been injured, could the Lakers have won it all?
Yeah, yeah, completely. That's what it all comes down to. It's the second season. Who can be? Everyone supposedly has a legitimate shot, even though we know that only 2 teams really ever only have a legitimate shot. So
I am happy with the NBA that this does seem like the most open playoffs that I can remember.
Yeah, I think a lot of that just has to do with the timing of when they got out of the bubble to when they started this season and how packed in it became. So yeah, it became even more of a grind and more about load management than it ever has been.
Yeah, 1,000%. So with the NBA and the NHL behind us, we will look forward to the XFL news that we got going on. We have some news. We'll go through the spring league in a little bit, but we have actual. Well, I'll put in air quotes actual XFL news. So the way. If you're not in tune with the XFL news space, so the way we've been getting updates to any XFL news, because apparently there's a strict NDA going on. The only way we've been getting any drops is Danny Garcia's Instagram. So the first one happened earlier this month, I think late May maybe, where she was in the women's restroom of the office where they're conducting these meetings in. She's like, that feeling when you want to talk so much about the XFL, but you signed an NDA, so the best you could do is send a picture of the restroom. And I was like, so that's where we found out the NDAs were happening. That's how we found out that was happening. Until then, we were just had to speculate that they were like holding things close to the vest.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, please continue.
Now what we found out is she takes a picture showing off her XFL blue nails that she got done. And in the background, you see a laptop that says, like they're discussing certain things about the XFL. It's a little hidden, but they're talking about it. And then she has this interview with E where they're talking about her being like, she's a producer, she's a fitness model, she's done a whole bunch of shit. And they talk about her being the first female sports league owner. And she's like, oh, it's incredible. It's amazing. There's so much going on. We have so much to do. And we're going to be hitting the ground in we have so much to do until we hit the ground here, like months away. She used the word months, not years. And as we're like hungry dogs scrapping at the bone for any XFL news, we hear that. It's like, fucking 2022, XFL's happening. I'm calling it right now. I'm fucking on the hype. Just like, it seems to go. So February, we get the announcement, like they're partnering with the CFL. The hype starts to go down. And then she comes out with this months and there's been nothing. So we're just right back up to fucking level 10.
And now we're getting just all ramped up from a fitness model's Insta nuggets that she's dropping on us. Like, all right, let's do it, man.
Not just any instant like fitness model. She's the fucking queen of the XFL. Damn it!
All right. Yeah,
she is the main person. Like The Rock has the name and everything like that. She is the one running shit. Her and this Redbird Capital, they're the ones fucking doing shit.
Yeah. Man, let's go. I'm just excited. I hate being teased. And so like I don't like, I just want to be, I just want you to tell me, what's happening.
When they bring out the tickler, the French tickler, it's I love it.
Ooh. God, just, let's not dance around the edge. Let's just go ahead and just plunge right in and you tell me what's going on,
Yes, I do understand that mentality behind it. I do wonder what this means for like a potential CFL partnership. It might have been something I've talked about before where they might just be doing like some promotional stuff. Maybe they'll play some exhibition games in like 2022 together because the CFL is still on track for an August start date. And a bunch of the team leaders and stuff are just before they were just like, we need fans and stands or we're not playing. As of now, they're just like, we can do like 30% capacity for a decent amount of the season, but we need some fans there because the CFL makes almost all of its money from like fans at the games. They get some TV revenue through, I think TSN is like Canada's version of ESPN that they're partnered with, but they need fans and seats.
I didn't know that. I'd seen Canadian television show Sports Center with like spelled CENTREE.
Yeah, Centra, like how people spell movie theater.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not a real thing. There's no way that's a real thing. That is a real thing. I've learned. Other Letterkenny developments. The more it's like I'm just learning about Canada through Letterkenny.
Letterkenny is amazing. It's basically a documentary about Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you cross promote with the XFL. Like if they play an exhibition, like whose rules are they playing with? Like what size?
I've talked about this a couple times, and if you do sort of like an exhibition sort of tournament off season, like you could do it in between the two seasons because the way I had it planned out is the XFL would play in the spring. Canada generally starts sometime in the late spring, early summer. You have about a week or two. Maybe you could do it where you kind of like give them a month to do like a month-long tournament or a month and a half long tournament, just a small tournament for like your top teams kind of play each other. And every year you rotate. You just pick one league's rules to start with, and then just every year you rotate.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun. I think that'd just be a fun way to do it.
So every other year I have to try to Google what is a rouge and try to figure out what the hell that is again.
100. And then every other year to be like, how long is a Canadian field? Because it's a little bit like wider or something, and
it's wider and longer. I think
it's wider and longer.
Man, okay, fucking yeah.
All right. They only play 3 downs
because real men can get a first down and 3 downs. Yeah,
100%. But I think it'd be. I mean, I would love it, and I think the XFL in general is just trying to go more global. Because they were talking like with the Mexican League, and it's a decent way to like pick up audiences because football is just grow. It's small everywhere besides the States, but it's growing.
Yeah, it is a global sport, and we're especially with the pandemic easing up, we're getting back to being a global world again. Which we very much have not. No one has been. It has not been a global world that that we operate with. It's just been everyone's stuck where they are. So yeah, and people are hungry for football everywhere. That's why you always have a London game that the players hate. I absolutely love for some reason. Like I
love it too.
Dig the fact that they play there.
I think they're doing a Germany game sometime soon too.
Ooh, that sounds fun. I feel like the Germans could totally get behind football.
Oh, they have their own league. It's a pretty fun one.
Let's go, man. Let's do it. Let's football in Europe.
Speaking of pandemic things easing up a little bit and football and like alternative football, I need some fucking news. I don't know who can help me out with this. I need some news on Japan's X League on what the situation is for their fall season because they canceled their spring tournament that they usually do in May, and I don't know the situation. I don't know when they're supposed to start in fall. You would not fucking believe how hard it is to find up-to-date information on the Japanese X League.
I'm so weirded out by things that happen in Japan, especially sporting leagues. Like I don't know. I don't. They're such a weird people.
The X League is so near and dear to my heart. And I'm watching right now. Japanese college football is starting right now. Their season's going. They do like a summer tournament, and then they have their regular fall season as well.
I didn't know that they played college football in Japan. I'm going to need a change of pants because that just blew my mind straight out of my ass.
I will send you some footage because one of my favorite things to do is, there's the Hawaii test in college football, right? Where, the Pac-12 games are all done at say it's like Central Time, 11 p.m.
Right.
Hawaii is only at halftime. Hawaii is going to be done at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Guess what? Fucking Japanese college football right after that's going to go on till 4.
That's the Iron Man. That's an Iron Man Saturday.
I've done it twice.
Can I possibly drink from 11 a.m. Central watching these football games until 4 a.m.?
I did. So when I lived on the West Coast, when I lived in California, I did it a bunch because I would work. And I'd just be like, it's going to be done at 2 in the morning? Yeah, I could do that. It's fucking easy. And then some days when I wouldn't work on a Saturday, I would start drinking at 9 a.m. and go until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's the thing about living on the West Coast. That's always been wow, that's crazy for me, which is how early games start.
Now, don't get me wrong, Central Time is the best time zone, flat, hands down.
100%.
I think for watching sports, West Coast is underrated. Because 9 a.m. is not too early to be up and watching. And you're in bed. If you're only watching the mainland games in college football, you're in bed by 11 at the latest.
Man, you're literally bombarded by good sports every waking hour.
It's nuts. It's actually nuts.
Let's go Pacific time zone. Way to go.
It's probably my second favorite time zone. But I need
to Greenwich Mean Time, the OG time zone. You gotta love the original.
That's top 3 for me. Central Time Zone is the best time zone. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. I need X League news, and I also need more USFL news already. We got the league dropped. We still don't know. They said minimum 8 teams, which is cool. Love that. That's going to be fun. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I've heard some things that they might play in the fall and just go full developmental league, which I don't like it for the USFL because the USFL to me has this brand. It has something known to it. The USFL was this spring league. It was the first American spring league. It was that's the NFL. We're the USFL. We're something different. We're our own thing. And the way I've heard some people talk about it, specifically I think Mike Florio talk about it. And I will say right now, the Garage is very anti-Mike Florio. He was very anti-XFL. Hate that man forever.
Yeah.
But the way he pulled this out, I was like, if they're going to go the developmental way, this is the way I would want them to do it. But I just don't want them to go developmental.
Just why? Well, I mean, that...
So the reasoning, the way I saw it is, so here's the, if you don't know people, this is what the theory is. The USFL goes full on developmental league. They go to a fall season and they play during the week. So everyone knows what Maction is. Everyone loves Maction during the college football season. This is kind of that for the pro levels. And it's kind of a mix between Maction and Team 9 for the XFL, where teams could just take players anytime. So if an NFL team, if you're balling out in the USFL and it's a Wednesday, you just ball it out that day and say the Broncos have a player get injured. They'd be like, oh, we want that player. We're going to pick him out and put him on our team for this week.
Listen, if you figure out a way to put basically football on every single night of the week, so you have USFL playing Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm going to be frank with you. I don't think my marriage can survive that, Jim.
I don't know if I personally can survive it. I don't know if I will live through that, but because it's like having Maction year round. It's football on. So basically it would be the USFL would play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It would be literal football, pro or college, Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week, literally from like the start of September to fucking January. It'd basically be like fall and winter would just be like, what? Where'd that go? It was just football.
Yeah. God. The upside being like, I feel like whenever football finishes, it's just like, oh shit, it's gone. It was gone just so fast. Like as soon as it was here, it was just gone. And it really wasn't. I mean, it went for 4 or 5 months. So, yeah. I'm partial to it just being a spring league, game.
That's what I would want. I would love something like that. And I would love maybe if they transition like the spring league itself into something like that because it's already developmental.
Right.
And just kind of like push it, just change the name from the spring league and just be like NFL minors or something like that, or just the development, like do something with that that's already purely developmental, shove that in there and have the USFL be the spring league and have it be its own fun league. Don't involve the NFL whatsoever. Obviously, even if it's in the spring, your players can get picked up by an NFL team come like season time. We saw it with the XFL. And I think that'd be awesome to have the USFL and XFL going on at the same time. You have a little spring football like ratings competition, kind of like going for players. I think that's best for the players.
Hell, let's do like an NFL AFL thing. Let's have a 2 dueling leagues and have a spring football Super Bowl.
Yeah,
a mega bowl even.
Speaking of fucking mega bowls, spring league final regular season results. We had the linemen 27, alphas 22. Fucking heater of a game. This one was super fun to watch. My linemen come out victorious. They are the winners of the North. They are kings of the North.
King of the North.
Yeah. So happy with them. Couldn't be happier. They're the number 1 team in the whole league too. I just know how to fucking pick them. Conquerors 16, Aviators 9. Aviators probably the worst team in the league this year. I just knew they shouldn't have changed their name from the Hughes, but they've been dog shit in my eyes since they did that. They did play in the championship game in 2020, but that was a weird season. Conquerors can't be too upset. They had a good season. They looked good.
Yeah. I'm just bracing for the next line that you're getting ready to read to me.
Jousters 27, Sea Lions 10. Bad sea lion noises. It sucks. The Sea Lions ended as the bottom team in the South. But this does send the Fighting Heath Ledgers to the Mega Bowl.
Yes. I wonder which. I hope it's 10 Things I Hate About You, Heath Ledger, that plays in the Mega Bowl.
I hope it's Brokeback Mountain, Heath Ledger. That was a good movie.
Why can't I quit you, Mega Bowl?
Why can't I quit you, Mega Bowl? So I don't understand the spring league. Sometimes they're like stuck in the mud, kind of by the books, and then they come out with the fucking Mega Bowl as the championship game. And I'm like, what is this fucking backyard wrestling bullshit that I love?
Someone was on a Zoom call. They were watching the movie Semi-Pro, and they were getting ready to play the Flint Mega Bowl. And they're like, we need a name for the championship game. And the guy's like looking around his house for something to name it after. And he looks up at his screen at TBS and he sees, we'll call it the Mega Bowl.
Call it the Mega Bowl. So the last game of the regular season, Generals 23, Blues 16. Generals end second in the South. They looked good throughout the season. They just had a couple slip-ups. I would say this was pretty neck and neck between the Generals and Jousters. It actually just came down to point differential for figuring out who was gonna like win the whole season.
Sad that the Generals have probably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, and they are not in the Mega Bowl.
Yep, they give out like one. They had one real stinker of a game, and that just kind of like fucked them. It's rough, but the players get their footage, and you can't be too upset. You had a good season. You win every year. The Generals win. I think this will be the first year that the Generals don't win the spring league.
It puts on me the sad question that I really just don't want to ask myself, which is what the fuck does Ryan Mallett do now? Is he going to be okay? Like,
does he have the footage to go onto a practice squad?
God, should he go back to school? Like, should we? I don't know. Like,
hey, tie this back into what I was saying earlier. Have him go play in the X League.
There we go.
Have him go play in Japan. Live in Japan for a year.
He would be huge in Japan. 1, because he's really tall, and 2, because, well, he played in the NFL a little bit, probably.
I think I always wonder. I think it's all right if you played in the NFL a little bit because some of them have like weird stipulations where you can only have like certain amount of because they don't want like obviously just these players to go in and just dominate.
Right.
So I think you can have some NFL experience because Shea Patterson played there last year. I'm pretty sure he was on a practice squad at least.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I forgot about Shea Patterson. He was at Ole Miss, wasn't he?
He was at Ole Miss, and then he went to Michigan.
What is it with ex Ole Miss quarterbacks and their spring league football prowess? It just seems like they tear it up.
They're fun as fuck, dude.
You know who I want to make a resurgence? Chad Kelly.
Dude, you and me both. Chad Kelly. Imagine this. Oh, Chad Kelly in the USFL.
I'm still waiting for Chad Kelly's rap career to take off. Like, because I'll tell you what, like, I love the Chad Kelly rap song. Like, when my wife loves the rap song so much, when she says Chad Kelly, she says Chad Kelly. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I only call him Swag Kelly. Imagine if you're an XFL team and you get Swag Kelly on, and then he's walking out of the tunnel to his own rap song.
I feel like he should wear his Uncle Jim Kelly's disappointment and shame as just like a feather boa of pride. You know, just go out there and be your best Ric Flair-inest quarterback of a self that you possibly be.
100 fucking percent. So for the mega bowl of the spring league, we're going to have the linemen versus the jousters. Who are we taking here? And I'm taking the linemen. I'm not even going to fucking like beat around the bush. The linemen are winning this game.
We're friends forever, buddy. The lineman's buddy. Let's do it.
Let's fucking go. Linemen over the Fighting Heath Ledgers. I'm going to say 28-26.
This feels like a close game. I'm going to go 165-15.
Love it. I love that. Some Monstar shit right there. Okay, now we're on to this is becoming one of my favorite parts of every episode is going through these NFL and college football schedules. We're going to try and breeze through because we're just going to there's a lot of teams.
Because we've been bullshitting a while.
We've been bullshitting a while. This is going to be a nice long episode. I fucking love it. Okay, NFL Week 5, Thursday, October 7th. Los Angeles Chargers at the Seattle Seahawks.
Great game. And I feel like just weird things happen on Thursday nights. I feel like weird things happen in the NFC West. For that reason, I am going to go with Seattle and the human bat suit DK Metcalf.
I am also going with Seattle here because they have one of my favorite wide receiver duos. Just keep going through these. Jets versus Atlanta.
The real shame is that somebody's going to be able to call themselves a winner this week.
This is the London game. This is the London game.
Ooh.
There we go.
Yeah, if I was the queen, I'd be fucking pissed at us for this one.
I would be too.
Let's go Atlanta.
Give me the Jets. I think the Jets are winning this one.
Okay. I know you're all about the Zach Wilson.
I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. I'm a huge Zach Wilson guy. Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals.
I don't. If Aaron Rodgers is starting, give me the fucking Packers.
I'm gonna say he doesn't show up, and so I'm going Bengals.
I'm taking Packers here. I love that. I love that from you. Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Vikings.
I just can't wait for you to pick the Vikings for a third week in a row, and just
picking the Vikings here
because I want you to look back through the spreadsheets and just be like, "Hold on."
When I make this spreadsheet, I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck was I smoking?"
You're gonna look back and you're gonna realize that the Vikings are 13-3 at the end of the season. I'm gonna go with the Vikings also here.
Fuck. This is fuck me. I don't know why I'm so high on the Vikings. I hate Kirk Cousins. I just don't get it. Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm still taking the Steelers here.
If we're gonna play quarterback speculation, is Deshaun Watson at Denver at this point?
Ooh, maybe.
Even so, I take the Steelers.
Yeah, even so, I take the Steelers this early on in the season. Miami Dolphins at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I try to stay loyal to the teams that you love.
It's hard. Dude. This is a hard. Tampa's winning this game.
I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to say Tampa.
I'm not going to be a homer here. sometimes Miami can sometimes give Tom Brady fits, but I'm unaware if that was Tom Brady or the Patriots. So we'll find out.
Right.
The New Orleans Saints at the Washington football team.
I think this is going to be a probably the best game of that weekend. I really do.
Looking at all these, I can only maybe think one other one, but this is going to be like a top 2.
Oh, I just see the one that you're talking about. But yes. Who dat? Saints time.
Saints will win unless Taylor Heineke gets the start. I got to rep my boy.
Okay.
Eagles at Carolina Panthers.
Panthers.
I'm also on the Panthers here.
I think I'm sneaky high on the Panthers.
I think both of us are kind of high on the Panthers.
Yeah, which is hard because we're also I'm also high on the Saints, and I'm also in the same division high on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and something's got to give.
That's a tough division, and I think the juju happens where what is it? It's usually never the same team that wins it like 2 or 3 times in a row, except for the Saints. The Saints did it.
Yep. Yeah. It's just. Whew. That'll be Carolina because the Eagles are going to be dog shit this year. But it's a great.
I think the Eagles will be good for fantasy.
Fair.
Tennessee Titans with newly acquired Julio Jones.
Listener to the podcast, Julio Jones.
Oh, 100%. Biggest fan. At the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Tennessee all day.
Yeah, Tennessee all day, every day.
Day.
New England, 100%. New England Patriots at Houston Texans. Patriots are like
Patriots stomp them.
The Texans and the Lions are on fucking auto fade.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
Give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I love Josh Jacobs. I so love Josh Jacobs so much, and I feel like you can just give him the ball 50 times a game.
The name is escape. Who's that tight end they have?
Darren Waller.
Yeah, I love Darren Waller so fucking much.
So every NFL season, I have one player that like I watch too much Hard Knocks, and so I'm just like way too jacked up to draft. And a couple of years ago, it was Darren Waller.
I like that. Who do we got up next? Cleveland Browns at the. Oh, my bad. The Thursday game was the Rams at Seattle. With their fucking LA thing, it looks like I still take Seattle over the Rams.
I knew I was looking at the schedule also. I knew what you meant.
I
knew what you meant.
It's the Browns at the Chargers.
That's gonna be a sneaky good game.
This is also
sneaky good game. I'm gonna take the Chargers.
I'm gonna take the Browns.
I feel like the Cleveland they'll disappoint at some point, and I feel like the Chargers are on the way up. I'm gonna go the Chargers.
I have stuck my wagon onto the Baker Mayfield train, and I am riding this until I die.
Here's a sports fact a lot of people don't know. Baker Mayfield is the only Heisman winner to shake his dong at the Kansas bench.
I love him for it.
Oh, bakey cakes.
New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys.
Shit.
This is a shit game.
Yeah, but Dallas wins.
I say Giants.
Ooh,
yeah.
Danny Dimes and
Danny Dimes actually
it done.
becomes a Danny Dimes here because Dallas's defense is not going to really pressure him that much.
Yeah, I'm still Dallas. I got to go Dallas there. I hate it, but I got to do it.
Here, oh God, there's 2 other this is a good week. San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. Another exciting game.
Great game.
Good way to like kind of like cap off the afternoon slate. I like it because you have one really good game in the early afternoon with the Saints Washington game, and then you have this one to kind of cap off the afternoon. I think Arizona does it.
I'm gonna go with Arizona there also.
Yeah, I like that one. And then you cap off with the Sunday night game of Buffalo at the Chiefs.
That's the best game of the weekend.
That's the best game of the weekend.
I've already said that someone was gonna jump up on Kansas City in week 3, and that was like if you were gonna do it, it was gonna be early in the season. So they got their one out of the way with that game, and I'm gonna say they beat Buffalo here.
Fuck, this is such a tough one. I think Buffalo gets this one. I think Buffalo wins this regular season one in a shootout. They win in a shootout. Because every game against the Chiefs is going to be a shootout.
Yeah, absolutely. If they do one thing, it is score points.
And then the Monday night matchup, Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens.
I hate Carson Wentz so very much, and I hate his feelings. So I'm going to say Baltimore here because I'm afraid he's going to be in his ginger girl feelings.
Yeah, I'm also Team Big Trust.
Whoa.
Give me the Ravens here. I do like the Colts on the season. Give me the Ravens here. That'll do it for that NFL week 5 of the NFL. We got a lot of college games to go through. Let's fucking run through these. Thursday night, Virginia at Miami.
Canes.
Yep, I think the Canes could actually be good this year. If what's his name? De'Aaron King plays a full season, they're gonna be good.
Yep. And I can't wait to see what this year's rendition of the turnover chain is like.
Ooh.
I love the turnover chain.
I love
the turn.
It's one of those things that kicked off this whole turnover craze. I respect them for that. And I hate Miami.
Right. And I feel like the turnover chain is one of those things that if you're an old person who watches football that you just absolutely hate about football, and it makes me love it even more.
Okay, one more tangent. Do you have a favorite turnover thing?
I stay OG with the turnover chain because not only
that's high up there for me.
That thing is got to be $250,000.
Yeah.
Like Jacob the jeweler, the guy who makes Kanye's Jesus chain, made the turnover chain.
My favorite is probably Oregon State, the turnover chainsaw that they do.
Okay, that's cool. That I'll give them that. But I mean,
the OG. It's hard to beat the OG.
I'm such a huge hip hop fan that if you give me a gaudy neck piece, I'm all about it.
I also I want Miami to be back, so it's fun to hate them again.
Football's better when Miami is good.
When Miami is when the U is swag back, football's more fun.
Right.
Okay, we're going in here Friday. Houston at Tulsa.
I think Tulsa's a good team, but I'm going to go Houston here.
I almost want to agree with you, but I gotta go Tulsa. I love them too much. That's probably a homer pick. I think Houston might win this one, but give me Tulsa. Iowa at Maryland.
Iowa
winning that game. BYU at Utah State.
Utah State.
I'm giving BYU there. Minnesota at Purdue.
Row the boat.
I think the boat gets capsized at this game. Purdue's winning.
You could have just said wrong. You didn't have to be so clever about it.
Yeah. Western Michigan at Buffalo.
Directional Mich school. I go Western Michigan.
We're going to have a lot of trouble when the Western plays Eastern or Central.
Yes.
I'm also going Western Michigan here.
The Civil War for my feelings.
Right? Memphis at Temple.
This is going to be a sneaky good ball game.
game.
Oh, I'm sticking with Memphis. I like what the Tigers do.
I like Memphis too. They're one of the premier AAC schools. Eastern Michigan at Northern Illinois.
A directional Mich school, Eastern Michigan.
Not only that, my favorite directional Mich school. So give me Eastern Michigan here. Cincinnati at Notre Dame.
That's a really sneaky good game.
Irish fans.
Cincinnati's
winning this game.
We're gonna have Drew Brees calling this one on NBC. Just because the walls of this home are thin, Notre Dame.
I could definitely respect it. FIU at FAU.
Just a FU to spectators is what this boring matchup is.
This one's not going to be as fun. Give me Florida Atlantic though.
Yeah, sure.
Ohio at Akron. Bobcats are fucking winning that game. Akron sucks.
Sure. Nah, you know what? Zips. Give me them zips.
I respect it. Central Michigan at Miami, Ohio.
Directional Mich school.
This is the one time I have to go against our directional Mich schools. Give me Miami, Ohio here. Bowling Green at Kent State.
Kent State.
Games are hard.
Yeah, they are. Kent State.
Yeah, Golden Flashes. Give me Kent State. Another fun game. UCF at Navy.
Who's even the coach at UCF? It's not Josh Heupel still, is it?
I actually forget. No, because Heupel's at Tennessee now.
That's right.
I actually don't know, so that leads me to take Navy.
Yeah, I love triple option football. Let's go Navy.
Also, if UCF kind of continues down the path of high-powered offenses, what better way to stop that than triple option? So Navy, yeah.
Just eat clock.
UNLV at UTSA.
UNLV.
UTSA for me. I'm a Roadrunner, boys. Let's fucking go. Southern Miss at Rice. This is a shit game. I'm just gonna say this is a shit game.
Somebody's gotta win. Let's go Rice.
I'm also going Rice. I just can't get behind Southern Miss. When you go through like 3 coaches in a year, you're like fucked. Marshall at Middle Tennessee.
God,
you're high on this Middle Tennessee team. I feel.
Yeah, and for absolutely no reason.
Dude, that's what. When it comes to these like CUSA, MAC, Sunbelt teams, you kind of just get a feel. You just have like a feeling.
And they always seem to do pretty, pretty
True,
okay.
They always do pretty.
Middle Tennessee.
Give me Marshall. Liberty at UAB.
Liberty.
Yep. I also think this is gonna be a good game though. I think UAB can give them a game. Western Kentucky at Michigan State.
Because Michigan State doesn't have a direction attached to their name, Western Kentucky surprises the Michigan State Spartans.
Ooh, I like it. I think Michigan State's winning this one. Northwestern at Nebraska.
Nebraska. Doing that for you, buddy.
I need a fucking coin to flip because this game is always a coin flip. I'm going to take Nebraska this year because they lost last year. Old Dominion at UTEP.
ODU.
I'm also on ODU here. UTEP is bad. They're real bad. Fresno State at Hawaii.
Fresno State all the way to the Las Vegas Bowl, baby.
Give me the fucking Rainbow Warriors taking it at home. Nevada at Boise State.
Boise State.
Give me Nevada. Watch out for the Wolfpack. They're winning the Mountain West this year. Texas at TCU.
TCU.
Yep, I think Texas is going to take some time. More time than people think for Sark to get started. Tennessee at Missouri. I'm going Missouri here.
Mizzou. I hate
both these schools, to be fair. Like, I hate them both. So
yeah.
I'm going Mizzou.
Yeah.
Boston College at Clemson. That's
poor. It's going to be a wicked hard loss for the guys for the kids at Boston College to take. It's going to be Clemson.
Yeah,
in a landslide.
In a fucking landslide. Duke at North Carolina. Not quite the rivalry in football. North Carolina is going to fucking roll them.
Yep.
Louisville at Wake Forest. Watch out, Louisville.
I like what both teams have going here.
Yep, I do too.
I'm going to say I pick up a cheap one. Get a sneaky one here with Wake Forest.
I think Louisville gets the win in a very close game.
Fair.
Pitt at Georgia Tech.
I'll go Pitt because Georgia
I will also
Tech
go
is terrible.
Pitt. I want to root for Georgia Tech because Collins seems to like really have the nature and the mentality to be the coach there. But give him like a year or two more. Like he's like there almost.
Yeah.
Syracuse at Florida State.
Syracuse.
Give me Florida State here. I think they're actually starting to turn that corner maybe to like being from a bad team to a decent team. Indiana at Penn State.
Is this a revenge game for Penn State?
This is a revenge game for Penn State.
And it's in, what is it?
It is in Happy Valley.
Happy Valley? Yeah. It's got to be Penn State.
It's got to be Penn State, right?
It's going to be a whiteout. They're going to be
if they white out for Indiana, that'll be hilarious.
We know that COVID has changed the world whenever they're whiting out for Indiana in a football game.
They usually try and save that for like a Michigan or Ohio State.
Right.
Speaking of which, Ohio State at Rutgers next.
Yeah, Rutgers.
Oh, boy.
I'm taking Rutgers. I'm going with the Fighting Shianos.
The fucking Shianos. Ohio State's winning this game by like 30 points.
So Arkansas loses a baseball game, and now I'm just letting like all of my hate out in the form of college football picks, apparently.
And this week, if you get this week right, it'll be the craziest week in fucking college football. Baylor at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
I agree with you there. Kansas at Iowa State.
Big 12 champions, Iowa State.
I can't get behind Big 12 champs, but Iowa State is winning this game. Oklahoma at Kansas State. If everything goes according to plan this year, I will be at this fucking game.
Okay. And I think you're probably going to see Oklahoma win.
I think I will see Kansas State win because Chris Kleiman is undefeated against Lincoln Riley.
Small sample size. Let's go.
It's two games. That's it. But Kansas State seems to play like Oklahoma fucking close. It's weird. Okay. And weird shit happens in Manhattan. Kansas State's getting the win. I think it's the only team to beat Oklahoma all year. Texas Tech at West Virginia.
Uh,
This is a toughie.
yeah, I'm gonna go Texas Tech.
I will go West Virginia just to be different.
I watched a bunch of West Virginia last year, and they were just not a good football team.
I like their coach though. I loved him at Troy.
I kind of like West Virginia football. Like it gets so rowdy at those West Virginia games because what else are they? I mean, it's either that or the Thundering Herd, and I think the majority of fans are West Virginia fans. So I like that it's at West Virginia. We're gonna go West Virginia.
I will go West Virginia as well. Mississippi State at Texas A&M.
I'm opening up my heart and I'm letting that hate out. I'm choosing violence. Mississippi State.
I respect that. I will go. Fuck, this is a tough one. I think Texas A&M in a close one here. Tulane at East Carolina. Give me the Green Wave here.
Green Wave also.
University of South Florida at SMU.
Oh, the battle of just minor colleges who should have just kick-ass recruiting because of where they're located. I'm going to go with USF.
I'm going to go SMU. Love me some fucking... I just love cheaters. I respect it.
Is Rhett Lashley the head coach at SMU?
Let me look real quick. SMU head coach Sonny. Is it Sonny Dykes again? What? Is it Sonny Dykes again? Did he coach there before?
Oh, Rhett Lashley. No, because Rhett Lashley's at the U. I think he did coach there before. I don't know. All right. Okay.
I feel like because. No, I just remember it's Sonny Dykes. Okay. I mean, I like Sonny Dykes. I liked him at Cal.
For the longest time, Rhett Lashley held like the Arkansas high school football record for touchdowns when he played for Gus Malzahn at Shiloh Christian.
A respect move.
Yeah.
App State at Georgia. Wait, you went USF, right?
Yeah, I went to USF.
Okay. App State at Georgia State.
Georgia State.
If it's not Georgia Southern, give me App State. It's Georgia State. Give me App State here. Arkansas State at Georgia Southern.
Wolf up.
I'm with you there. Arkansas State's getting the dub here. Louisiana at South Alabama.
Raging Cajuns.
All day Raging Cajuns. I think Raging Cajuns probably win the Sun Belt this year. ULM at Coastal Carolina. The other team who I think Coastal Carolina wins this one.
Yeah.
Arizona State at UCLA. This could be a good game.
Then give me big Herm.
Give me UCLA here. Give me the Bruins. Oregon at Stanford.
Sneaky good game, I think. But I might go the Ducks. I'm going to go Ducks.
I'm also going the Ducks. I feel like Stanford's kind of been on like a downward trend, and they play such a tough schedule that I feel like even by week 5 they might be like kind of tired.
Yeah.
USC at Colorado.
Sneaky good game again. I'm going to try Colorado since
the
they're going to be mile high.
Bunch of sneaky good games this week.
Yeah, they do.
Give me Colorado here. I think they were a pretty damn good team last year, and I think they prove it this year. Washington at Oregon State.
You're high on the Beavs, aren't you?
I'm very high on the Beavs.
I'm gonna take your
offensively. Okay. I don't know if they win this game because their defense was pretty bad.
I think offensively play defense in the Pac-12 though.
Washington's the team. Washington and Cal. Cal is one of the best defensive teams in like the last 2 years.
I'll go Oregon State.
I think Oregon State gets. I think they get the upset here. Washington State at Cal.
I'm inexplicably fuck Cal camp. So Washington State.
I don't know what it is. I like Berkeley. I've been there a couple times. Love it. Give me Cal. Air Force at New Mexico.
Air Force.
Yep, same. Support the troops, Air Force. Ole Miss at Alabama.
Also might be a sneaky good football game because you have Lane Kiffin in his second year at Ole Miss. He's a pretty good recruiter, but Alabama always reloads. But Ole Miss might give him a game.
Ole Miss wins this game. They get the Mississippi schools seem to give Alabama more trouble than any fucking school in the country, and I don't know why. Yeah,
as someone who's in that conference and not a Mississippi school, I know them feels.
I don't fucking get it. Florida at Kentucky.
This is always a sneaky good game.
This is these two teams. If you are a Florida team, watch the fuck out.
Do you remember when Tim Tebow got knocked the fuck out by Kentucky and the lineman tried to pick him up and like he just like was like a dead person being lifted by his shirt? and how amazing that was.
He was a fucking ragdoll.
That's when we knew he was the resurrected Christ, because he actually died on that play. Florida.
I'm with you there. Florida gets this win here. Arkansas at Georgia.
Man, it's too bad that they're not starting the 12-team playoff next year, because we'd be in it guaranteed.
Oh,
so
yeah. Same Nebraska, Arkansas, game 1 right there.
It should be every game. We should just play best of 12 series. I don't know how that works, but we'd figure it out. So let's go Arkansas.
Man, I think Georgia wins the SEC this year. So I think they get this win.
Man, that means they would have to win a championship game, and that is a bold statement.
So they can win the SEC championship. They cannot win a national championship.
Yeah. I've got good Bulldog friends who those feelings are hurt a lot.
Speaking of hurt feelings and just bad things in general, UConn at Vanderbilt.
I'm so excited for Vanderbilt to get a win this week.
Get a dub.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Vanderbilt's over under is like 1.5. So they got to get someone else in there just to like figure it out. But they get this win because UConn is terrible.
Right.
Troy at South Carolina.
I think the fighting men of Troy sneak up on South Carolina here.
I think so too. Troy's going to win this one. Toledo at UMass. The Rockets blast off in UMass's fucking asshole.
I wouldn't have phrased it that way, but yes.
I don't think words just come out.
That was, I mean, if you're going to pick a phallic mascot to do anything, that would be the one and the action. So I'm for it. Let's go.
New Mexico State at San Jose State.
Nick Starkel plays for San Jose State, right?
I feel like you're going to ask this every week, and yes, he does.
Yeah, okay, New Mexico State.
I'm taking San Jose State here. Michigan at Wisconsin.
This is a great week of football
this
for
is
NFL
week
and
5
college.
Good fucking week.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Shit. He's coaching for his job. Give me Michigan. In a close one.
I respect that.
Louisiana Tech at NC State.
NC State's winning this one. Charlotte at Illinois.
Can Burt do it? This is an upset alert for Illinois.
It is. I'm going to go Charlotte.
I think Illinois gets the win here. Army at Ball State.
Army. I'm going to pick against the fighting David Letterman's.
I think this actually comes down to, what do they call the military cup or whatever? I think this is going to be a pretty competitive year for it. So give me Army here. Yep. And the last one here on the list, Auburn at LSU.
I'm going to lean in and do my best Coach O here. Go Tigers.
Oh, that was good. Let me see if I can do it. I'm shit at these. Go Tigers.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
LSU's winning this one.
Was it someone said the only LSU coach ever to not have an accent?
Right.
Just if a frog became a man and an SEC football coach, it would be Coach O.
Oh, it would be 100. If he's the living embodiment of like a crawfish boil.
Yeah. If Farmer Fran from The Waterboy was a real person, it would be Coach O. I hope he has nipple rings.
I hope so.
Hail Marys in the air.
They're winning this game.
Yeah,
this is a tough
totally.
One. This is tough.
I think it's gonna be hard times on the Plains at Auburn this year. I also hate Auburn more than most football teams that play the sport. So I always pray for hard times on the Plains. We always get royally screwed. Arkansas gets royally screwed against Auburn. Auburn cheats with impunity. Fuck Auburn. Go Tigers.
Fuck Auburn. Go Tigers. So that'll do it. Week 5. Fucking good looking week. I also think this is the most we've disagreed. So I kind of like that. This is going to be a very interesting one.
A lot of it was that I let myself pick with my hateful tiny Grinch heart this evening.
I do respect it though. We're not going to do bets because we're running a little long here, but we will do what's going on in your life, what's going on in the garage at the gymnasium. What do you got going on, Chase?
Well, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to me because my oldest child survived to the age of 5 today. So I managed to keep it alive. So my little girl just turned 5 today, and I was all over the place this week, so it's going to be nice to kind of take a easy way, just doing my on the wrong lead stuff with my boys from Discord and on the wrong lead. I've got my Friday America's Best Racing Show, Always Be Racing with Blackjack Fletcher and Danielle Monnier, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern on Friday, and just handicapping these ponies. Got Belmont running, and I love New York horse racing.
And if you guys like, make sure to follow his picks. It's like kind of having another bank account because he just like is fucking on a tear right now.
Yeah, I mean, I consider any time you're profitable to be just a good day. And so far, if you've played every single one of my bets at Better Than Vegas, then you are profitable. So you know, I can't. It's not like used Miata money, but you'll get a combo meal.
I wish I could say the same, but parlays are just very they're give and take.
Hard to hit. Hard to hit.
What I got going on is I watched The Scorpion King. That movie's fucking incredible. That review is actually dropping this week, so that'll be fun. New Bud Light Seltzer pack, and then the iced tea one. The Bud Light Seltzer iced tea is coming out this summer. I can't wait to fucking try that. That's going to be fucking amazing.
They're just taking over all the beverages at this point.
Just doing them all. And then I've got my May workout video in the editing bay right now, so that's getting edited for my. I'm working out for the XFL, so that's coming.
Just getting swole with it.
I've accumulated all this mass. I got to do something with it.
You cultivated it. Now you're cutting it. You're in a cutting phase.
Exactly. That'll do it for us here at the Jimnasium. Tell the people where they can find you, my man.
I am on Twitter @ofOaklawn. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I keep a low social media profile, but you can get me there @OFOaklawn.
Also, subscribe to him on Better Than Vegas because horses make money.
That is an excellent point.
Subscribe to me on Better Than Vegas too, @XFL Jim. I'm at XFL Jim, literally fucking everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, literally all over, every single where you can find anything. That'll do it for us here. This is the Jimnasium. You folks out there, stay #garage certified. Love you all.